Hey everybody, it's a big day over here at my house. I just got home with the Kemper Profiler Stage, and as promised, I wanted to go live. Sorry about the last minute announcement kind of thing, but I got to work tonight, and I wanted to do this before I went to work and share at least the unboxing and a quick discussion with you guys about this, and get your thoughts on what you want me to cover tomorrow night when I go live again, when I do like a playthrough and a bunch of other things with the Kemper. And I want to see if I can do some research for you guys and answer all your questions before I go live and have things kind of prepped for you. So I'm going to do a playthrough, discuss my first impressions about it, and all that happy stuff. Bear with me a second, because what I want to do is share this on my Facebook page for everyone, and get some people, from my friends list on here. So just bear with me a second, and I'm going to share this in my Kemper group as well. So we got 6 people here so far. This is actually my first time using my iPad to go live with. Usually I use my my OBS software in my my studio in my basement and all that. So this is kind of interesting setting this up. So I'm going to go ahead and share this to the Kemper group right now. Share it to a group. All right, and I'm going to tag a few people, and then we'll get moving here with the big reveal, and it's gonna be fun. So I just tagged a bunch of people. I annoyed a bunch of people, basically. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. Let me know if you're here. I don't know if I can see comments on here or not. I've never done a live stream on YouTube, anyways, on a mobile device. So I want to see if I can see comments so I can interact with you guys, or I can use my phone. I can do that too, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this thing out. It's been driving me nuts. It's been sitting on my floor in my living room for the last probably 4 hours. I've been trying to get things going here so I can get ready to go. Oh, looks like I can see people. What's going on? Thank you. Groove Millionaire, what's going on, man? Hello. Got to use my glasses at certain distances to be able to read. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till this populates a little bit. So I'm gonna do a little more than just a basic unboxing. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what I think this is going to mean to the industry of digital platforms, because I kind of think that this is going to be a huge game changer for everyone. Because what these guys did with this is they took away all of the reasons why people in other that use other digital platforms they took all the reasons away that they were saying that they didn't want to get one of these for. Oh, the toaster's goofy looking, or it's confusing, or it's overwhelming. I don't like the format. The rack unit, I don't know if I would like that. And then so now, all the people that like the floor type form factor, I think would really enjoy this. And I'm going to find out how difficult or how easy it is to operate. So and share all that stuff with you. And I'm going to do a complete head-to-head shootout with my Helix and see how that goes. And I'm going to go over all the details. It's probably going to be a multi-part series because there's a lot of ground to cover. And I'll probably just cover form factor. I'll cover ease of use, layout, size. I'll cover all that stuff. And I'll just give you my honest opinion as to, why would you switch from one platform to this, or why, maybe here are some of the things that you got to look out for, whatever. I'll see if I can, be very objective about it and give you my honest opinion about things regarding that. So let me see, I got some comments here. Ben Burnett, what's going on? Groove Millionaire, how you doing? No sleeves is the only way to jam. That's right, man. No sleeves here, man. It's guns all day. Yeah. when you're my age and you can still go without sleeves, it's pretty cool. So you do it when you can, right? So looks like we got hey, what's up, Jamie Trevino? What's going on, man? Looks like we got some people here. 16 people. So let me take a sip of coffee, and we're gonna go ahead and open this thing up. Let's see what we got. Shout out to Marty and all the guys at Motor City for hooking me up with the Kemper. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. By the way, I bought it, so they didn't give it to me. They got it in for me and called me as soon as it got off the truck. So here, I'm going to do an unboxing where you guys can't see it. So here it is. This is how it comes. I'm sure you guys have seen unboxing videos and stuff. I've never done an unboxing before, so I thought they were kind of goofy, but I guess that's the cool thing to do now. So I got to join the cool guy club. So, all right, so opening it up. Here is how she sits in here. And not a lot of packing, just, pretty simple, kind of how I like things, simple. So, there it is. Damn, my arms are looking sweet today. Jeez. Yeah. All right, sorry, I'm just feeling a little silly. All right, so, power cable, sticker, and some pics, which I won't use because I don't like floppy pics, but hey, thanks for the pics. And then you have Encyclopedia Britannica here, which I'll probably never read because we're guys, we don't read manuals. We screw everything up and wonder what happened and blame the product. That's what we do. So, all right, so let's pull this thing out. Wow. I can't believe I'm holding this. This is so freaking cool. So here is the I/O. Alright. Get the two USBs. I'm assuming that is for hooking it up to your computer to do like all of the Rig Manager stuff, which I don't use Rig Manager because I like to play, not turn knobs and click mouse. And then, of course, this is probably for loading your rigs in and stuff like that, which I will do when I get home tonight. MIDI, which I will be using a lot of MIDI stuff because I'm going to use this to control my Synergy rig and add effects to it when I run my Synergy rig. And then I'm going to use it as a standalone unit when I want to use the Kemper as a total standalone unit too. So I got the best of both worlds now. So now, like I was using a Helix before, and I still will on occasion, depending on how things work out. But I prefer the effects in the Kemper a little more. If you haven't watched my video where I compare those, you'll see why and hear why. But I still like the Helix. I still think it's a great unit, and I want to see how these stack up against each other. But so now I can have one pedal board that will do both. It'll control my Synergy stuff and act as an all-in-one with the Kemper. And I really do prefer the tones that I get out of the Kemper over any other digital platform out there. So now I really do have the best of both worlds. Looks like we got 22 people here. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I appreciate it. So here's the rest of the I/O. Hold it in a little closer for you. So you have, it looks like 2 effects loops, which is awesome. So on this one, you do get another effects loop, which is really cool. And that does mean a lot to me. The Kemper, the Helix has 4, which I think is really cool too. I know I can make 2 of them work though, depending on how I'm going to have the pedals hooked up and everything. So here's the, here's what it looks like on, let me show you the whole thing first. And it really doesn't look that intimidating to me at all. It looks very normal. I'm used to using this type of format. So to me, this makes a lot of sense. As far as how it's laid out. So this form factor is like my favorite type of form factor. So I just got to kind of get used to what buttons do what, because I think some of them are a little different than the toaster that I have. So I got to get used to that. So let me give you a close up on, the different, buttons where they're all located at and all that happy stuff. Forgive me if I'm not doing this very well, but and there's what it looks like from the front. On the side, it's not super heavy. It's not super big. And I know, Jamie, you're still here. We've talked about, like, the Helix, and you were like saying like you'd prefer the Helix to have, it was shorter without the expression pedal on it to save room. You could throw it in a bag easier. It just fits into, smaller compartments easier. And on top of that, like, if your pedal goes bad on the Helix, you got to send the whole thing in to get it fixed. If your pedal goes bad here, it's an exterior pedal. You just get a new one and pop it back on, and you don't have to send your Kemper out to get it fixed. So that's actually a cool feature. I'd rather not have the expression pedal on here. I'd rather have it separate, and I like that because you do save a lot of room. I got a crazy cat here, so he's gonna. Every time I open a box, he goes nuts. So that's what that noise is. But let me read some of your comments here, and we can discuss some stuff. I'll show you whatever you want as far as the, how it looks and everything. I'll be happy to do that for you, no problem. Gosh, we got a lot of people here. Darren West, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Veritek, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. You said, hey there, Jared, I want to hear this. What do you like? What do you dislike? Yeah, I will definitely do that tomorrow. I'm going live again tomorrow with a full-blown, I'll have it hooked up with my favorite profiles in it, and I will play it. I'll answer questions. I will try my best to do as much research as I can on it so that I can answer questions and maybe even demonstrate some things. I'll have a camera pointed right at the Kemper so that you can see me pushing knobs and turning, pushing buttons and turning knobs and answering questions. I'll do the best I can. I have to get used to where everything's at, and I might be a little nervous. I don't want to screw up on live, but I mean, sometimes you just got to go through that. Pair that with the HX Stomp. Yeah, I mean, you can pair it with that and have like extra stuff, but if you've ever played through a Kemper, you'll find that the effects in there are very good. There's plenty of effects. There's more than what you need, and I think that especially with the reverbs and delays and the modulation stuff, it's all really good. I actually prefer it over any other platform. Kurtz, I love my Kemper rack powered. Now I will get that soon. Yeah, I'm telling you, like it's a great piece of gear. Let me kind of put it here so at least you guys can see it. Yeah, it's a great piece of gear. It really is. I mean, I'm sure it'll sound just like the toaster in the rack. So I don't see anything wrong with going with this. It's a great form factor. Again, it's my favorite form factor. I like having it, and it is. There's all the beer jokes like, oh, what if someone spills a beer on it? Blah blah blah. I played so many gigs, and Jamie, you can go ahead and post in here too. You've played 10 times more gigs than I have, and you play some pretty wild shows. You've never had anybody spill beer on your stuff. I mean, that's kind of rare. Let's see, William S. Maid. Pair the Kemper with a floor with a fractal, and you'll be. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some research and see if I can take the Kemper remote and put that right next to this and have, like, an array of buttons and an array of options in front of me where I don't have to, I just got more options. I want to see if that will control this and they can work together. And if that's the case, I'm going to keep my remote, because why not? Why not have more? I mean, I have the Temple pedal board that's the size of a freaking aircraft carrier. Tom Cruise borrowed it for Top Gun 2 so he can land his freaking jet on it. So that's how big this damn thing is. So I'll guarantee you I can put them both on here, and if they work together, I'm gonna have like the ultimate freakish, like, rig that I mean, why not, right? Why not have it all? So, let's see, Joseph L. Dean, that amp blew your sleeves off, bros. Yeah, you saw the demo of Misha's amp that I did. That amp was really cool. I really liked how that amp sounded and felt and everything. And I met Misha last night and did an interview with him. Carrie and I did, and I'll be posting that this weekend for you guys to watch. It was a very quick, impromptu interview. We showed up and he knew we were coming, but he had a clinic to do, so he had to kind of squeeze us in. So we just set the camera up and just went. And he was very kind. I can't say anything bad about Misha Mansour. The guy was like literally the nicest person. Like within seconds of meeting him, I felt like we can go have a beer together, and there was no weirdness. There was no like putting on airs. And him, he was very humble, very nice person, very honest, and very polite and respectful. And it was like it was really cool meeting him and hanging out with him yesterday. It was like, and that guy can play some crazy stuff on the guitar. Amazing player and super, super informative and knowledgeable. And you know what? He's just a gear nerd, just like all of us are. I mean, he's just a total gear nerd, and it was a really fun night. So, yeah, his amp is really, really good. It's an amazing amp. So let me read some more of these comments. Looks like one of my synths from the '80s. Vertex says, "Yeah, it's a high piece of tech. I mean, this tech is like ridiculous what they did here. I mean, think about this. Like 10 years ago, this kind of stuff wasn't even available. I mean, it wasn't even dreamed about. I mean, fitting like all the good stuff in here. I mean, you could fit bad stuff in a piece of tech like this 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, that was easy to fit a bunch of crappy sounding stuff in there, and yeah, it sounded thin and lifeless and fake and everything else, and it was hard to program, and it was just a big pain in the ass. But this is like, ridiculous. I mean, I honestly think that Kemper is gonna really like drop kick the market in this, regarding this type of platform right through the goalposts. I mean, it's just going to be ridiculous. There's a lot of people that have digital platforms right now, and manufacturers that are freaking out because everybody knows that legit tone is here as far as the digital platforms go. This is the most legit tone that you're going to get. I've had my Kemper toaster for over a year now, and Jamie, you can attest to this. You came over to my house when I first got it. We plugged in and we fired up a diesel profile right away. Both of us were like, there it is. I mean, it's sick, And now we could take that and put it in my favorite form factor and probably a lot of your guys' favorite form factor too. And I mean, it's just going to take over the market. I mean, is it going to be the only thing out there? No, there's still going to be people playing the other units and stuff, but I just think that this is the new kid in town, and he drives a really cool car, and he's going to be captain of the football team for a while. I really think that that's what's going to happen, and it's just going to be a really, really cool time for all of us to get to know this piece of tech, and we're going to see him on stages everywhere. We're at Texas. Sleeves are for wimps. Yes! Sleeves are for girly boys with spaghetti arms. Can you show us the size with the Helix? You know what? My Helix is in my studio. It's in my studio from the last thing that I did. So I'd love to grab it. It's way downstairs and stuff. I will do when I do the whole shootout, I will show the different sizes. I'll put them right next to each other, so that you can see that. And check my community section in the page later. I'll see if I can at least post a picture in there for you guys, And that's one of the videos I'm going to do is this thing a Helix killer? Is it? We don't know. I mean, we really don't. It's all speculative at this point. And I say that all to, with all due respect to Line 6 and the Helix, but, I mean, I just think that I know for me personally, the tones are better. They just are. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. I got to keep it real here, the feel and the texture, the three-dimensional kind of thing. Like, I think the Helix and, like the head rush, I can't speak for the XFX 3 because I haven't played it yet, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But I think those two units are like the equivalent to really good full color printers, that do a really good job, like laser printing stuff and making it look amazing. But this is a 3D printer. I mean, the Kemper is more like a 3D printer. I mean, you can, when it gets printed out, I mean, you can pick it up. There's texture to it. There's dimension. It's as close to the real thing as you're gonna get. Where the other one is a really nice color print of those things, but you can't beat the texture and the aggression, especially for metal, that comes out of these. I mean, it's just sick. So let's see here. Chris Saraga, what's going on? Aaron Lucas, how you doing, man? Let me see if I catch up to some of these comments. Is it bigger than the Fractal X8? Good question. I think that they're probably about the same size. I had a Fractal X8. A friend of mine brought one over once, and it's been about a year since I've seen it. So I'm just going by memory, but it's probably about, it's probably a little bigger, but it's negligible. Jeremy Vareo, what's going on, man? Ain't pairing with Helix anything on this. Yeah, it's pretty light too. It's not super heavy. Darren West, I've heard it comes already loaded with profiles. Can you compare them to your purchased ones? Yeah, I mean, so I could probably do that. I mean, the thing is with the profiles that it comes with, they come with a bunch, and it's not like when you buy like the other digital platforms like the Helix and the Head Rush, where you have presets that they come with, and again, no disrespect to those companies, but the presets they'll even tell you like they're not that great. But the profiles that the Kemper comes with, a lot of them are made by professional profile makers that do it for a living, and a lot of them are very good. And yeah, honestly, there's some crappy ones in there too. At least there's plenty in there to get you started down the rabbit hole. But what I always suggest people do is just find some in there that you like, find who made them, because the name's right there, and go to their website and see what else they make. And if you like their flavor and their take on making profiles, then get some from them and check them out. And I always say try some from like 3 different companies of the same amp and see which version you like the best, and just go with that. And then just stop and start playing. Stop tweaking, start playing. I mean, that's what I always suggest, because you bought this to play through it. I mean, in my opinion, the guys that tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak, they're basically, as you're tweaking, your guitar skills are going down. You're losing your ability. So it's kind of like guys that you design a gym, right? And you're in there coloring your weights all different colors and labeling everything the right way and putting everything over here and cleaning and dusting and polishing and checking out what piece of equipment's going to get your arms bigger and your chest bigger and this and that. And you do that for 6 months. Meanwhile, what's happening to all your muscles? They're atrophying. So go into the gym and just work out. You're gonna get good gains. It's the same thing with guitar. I mean, how much can you tweak it to make it sound perfect? I mean, there's no such thing as perfect anyway. And in my humble opinion, the more tweaking you do, the further away you get from real tone anyways. A profiled amp, if it's profiled properly, just turn the gain, if needed, the bass, mid, treble, presence, and volume accordingly to what you would set up on a real amp, and add your effects and just start playing. That's really the best advice I can give anybody. All right. Riffs, Guitar, and Gin, how you doing? Good to see you. Please do a pre-installed metal sounds. I will do that. I will go back in this and review all the comments, and I'll write down some stuff for you guys. just so you know what my weekend looks like tonight I got to wash a fleet of trucks. I own a pressure washing business. I'm going to get home pretty late. And then obviously when I get home, I'm going to be loading this up with all the stuff. And then tomorrow I got to wash about 40 school buses. And then when I get home, I'm going to spend the rest of the day dialing this in. And I'll take as many of your suggestions that I can, I could fit into the time before I go live tomorrow, and apply those and see if we can go over that. Plus I got to do research on how to do stuff, because this is a little different than my toaster, which is right over here. I got to get to know how to do some things. You know, I got to kind of mess with it. But Brian Miller, what's going on, man? Axe FX 3 next. You never know, right? I mean, those things are really expensive. If anybody out there wants to send me one to borrow, you can trust me. I will send it back. I've had people send me gear before. I know it's a big ask, so don't feel any pressure. But that's, as far as like within the realms of reality, as far as soon time goes, me reviewing one of those, that's the only way I could do it, is if somebody sent me one. And but again, I'm not expecting that. It's a big ask. Mike Griffin, so you will not be playing anything today, or so we can hear the tone? No, good question. I mean, that's why I titled it, and I'm sorry if the title was confusing. I only get 100 characters, so this is an announcement that I will be going live tomorrow night, and probably around 8 o'clock, you know, and I will be playing it then and showing you how everything sounds and all that. Today was basically an unboxing, a discussion, and a announcement that I will be going live tomorrow night to give you my first impressions of how it was to work with, how it was to load in my stuff, maybe a little bit of the learning curve, and then we're going to go ahead and play some stuff. And if I have time tomorrow, I'll set it up with my my power amp, with my Synergy 5050 power amp and one of my Mesa cabs. Or I might just go direct, depending on how much time I have. So you guys let me know if you want me to do that or go direct. I'll try to accommodate you best I can. Let's see, Darren West, Kemper remote is overkill. Your board is going to be a door. It's already big. I mean, I already have the space, so why not fill it? But I hear you. It is overkill, but I'm Captain Overkill. If I was a superhero, that would be my name, Captain Overkill. You know, it's just what I do, you know. Let's see here. Emperator 86, how you doing, man? What is Kemper doing to sound better than Helix, or is it subjective? Like, are Helix and Kemper on the same level in terms of sound quality to your ear? Good question. See, there's a huge difference between a profiler and a modeler, and it's like I was saying earlier. You might have missed it, and it's okay. I'll repeat it real quick. A modeler is kind of like a really good laser color printer of something. The colors are there. It's very nice, and it comes out, and you look at it and you go, "Yep, that looks just like whatever it is that I wanted to print." But the profiler is a 3D printer. So you could take the laser image or the 3D printer image, and it just depends on what you want. Because the Kemper will have that texture that the other modelers don't have. I mean, they don't have texture. They have, I guess it's called like sizzle. You know, there's like the top end is really where everything changes. I mean, it's really where the top end, a little bit of the bottom end. The top end doesn't have that crispy, crunchy, break-up-y kind of crackling, breakup, I guess. That the Kemper has. So it's got, the Kemper has all that texture. Where you can almost feel the sound. It's like a cheese grater running your eardrums over a cheese grater. There's like that really nice texture, where the modelers will achieve that same type of sound, but they do it differently, and it's more of a sizzly kind of thing, and there's less texture to it. And in a mix, it all matters, because in the Kemper, you're going to really capture that aggression on the strike of the pick and the big ringing chords and the palm mutes and stuff like that. you're going to hear more pick attack. You're going to hear more, just texture. I guess I can just keep saying that word, but that's really what it is. There's texture there. It's kind of like running your fingers over paper or braille paper. You feel that texture. So that's my opinion, and a lot of people agree with that. I mean, it's you plug into a Kemper, your hands will know right away the difference, because your hands will be like, oh, I like this. Yeah, it's very reactive and bouncy, and you got all this stuff going on. So you can really feel it more. And because your hands like it better, your ears like it better. It's just the way it is. Because if your ears really like something, but your hands don't, your hands usually win. They really do. Because if you can't play it the way you need to, your ears have to take a back seat. But with the Kemper, the two are merged. Your ears love it and your hands love it too. And both of them are like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Let's do this. That's kind of how it is, let's see here. The law: a drunk chick got hoisted on top of the stage and landed on her back on the stage by pedal board case, and then security got her and sent her out the exit backstage. Banished her to the shadow realm. That's what happens, man. Let's see. TJ Richardson, what's going on, man? You should totally profile the Helix, bro. I wonder what that would be like. I really do. That would be a 3D printer version of a really nice glossy laser printed thing. I don't know. That would be really interesting. Mike Griffin, tone is subjective and everyone likes different things. I have heard tones that I thought were awesome and then tweaked to do something that the person doing the tweaking loved, but I prefer the original. No, I hear you. It is very subjective, but I will say, if you do a blind test, this is how you should do it. Do a blind test. Between the product that you really like and a new product, and then let your hands tell you what you like more. And if your ears agree with your hands, then that's the product you need to go with. Seriously, if your ears and your hands agree that something's the best, then that's really what you need to go with. It really is, because a lot of times with modelers and profilers and all the different things out there, one thing is always upset. It's either your hands or your ears that's upset, or your wallet if it's something really expensive. So, and now to be fair, there are profiles in the Kemper that neither my ears or my hands like, So, but here's the thing: the magic with the Kemper is, if you're, it's only as good as the profiles that are in it. So if you have really good profiles in there, it sounds amazing. If you have crappy ones, it sounds like crap. But but the good thing is you're not stuck with a bad profile. If you buy another digital platform where they don't, it just comes with what it comes with, and you can't add anything to it. If you don't like what's in there, you're stuck. With the Kemper, you go online, you find a profile that you like, put it in there. If you love it, the Kemper's amazing. It's really all there is to it, Let me see here. Warm chord music, what's happening? Have you considered profiling your Synergy stuff? I had a good experience profiling with my Rev into Torpedo Studio. Yeah, your Rev profiles are great. I've played through those, and I'm sorry I didn't get to reviewing those. It's been crazy over here, and I apologize, but I will see. I'll see if I can load them into this and see if I can do something with that. Again, I apologize, but I will get around to it. I imagine if you could get some good profiles of the different Synergy modules. Now, you're probably right. I mean, the Synergy modules are amazing. I love that rig so much, and I'm going to pair this with that rig. And that way, again, I'll have the best of both worlds. If I want to go Kemper, I don't have to do anything different. I just switch to a profile that has all the Kemper stuff in it. And if I want to go back to, my Synergy stuff, I will go to a profile or at least a preset setting, whatever, that's associated with that, and I'm good to go, The Chicago Todd, what's going on? Would be cool if Kemper came up with something along the lines of HX Stomp. As processing power increases over, it will allow them to form factor to decrease, if that's what folks want. No, you're right. Everything seems to be getting smaller. It seems like you know, it's funny. It's kind of like cell phones, right? When they first came out, they were like, you know, like the size of this, you know, big globby freaking brick, you know, and then they got smaller and smaller and smaller, and everybody wanted those little, you know, flip phones, and you know, and then now they want bigger ones because you want a bigger screen. So, and it all depends on the features. So if you want more features, you have to put up with the size that's associated with those features. If you don't care for as many features and you just want a simplistic thing that doesn't have a ton of buttons and features on it, and it gives you the tone and the features you want, and you don't want all that space taken up, then get the smaller one. Absolutely, you know. And that's why all these products are so cool, and all this competition is so great, is because they keep pushing each other to get better. And one person comes out with an idea like Line 6 did with the HX Stomp, and then what was it? Headrush came out with a gig board after that. I don't know which one came first. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then now Axifex is coming out with a smaller one. I can't remember the name of it, but they're coming out with one. It's like $1,000, and maybe Kemper will do that too. Wouldn't that be interesting if they came out with a Kemper that was like this big, you know, that had all that stuff on it? I mean, because there's guys that literally use just a couple of things, and they would love just to have this little piece of gear they can just stick in their freaking glove box and take it to a gig, you know? And I don't blame them. You got to get what you got to get. You got to get just barely what you need, and if you're good with that, then do it. Joseph L. Dean, I love kitty cats. Yeah, yeah. These guys are psychos, man. Especially the little guy. He's a fur ball. He's running all over the house usually. And then this is the older guy. He's kind of an old man now. He just kind of chills out all day. I would buy a Kemper Profile player in a box in a hot second. Veracek, I would buy a Kemper Profiler player box in a hot second. You mean this? Yeah, I mean it's $1,700, and see, that's the other thing. Helix is $1,600. This is $100 more, and I'm telling you guys, especially you metal guys, and a lot of you metal guys that are watching know exactly what I'm talking about. Regarding metal tones, this thing has it. There's nothing better. I've played a lot of different different digital platforms, and every time I'll do a shootout with those, and I'll be like, wow, I kind of like that. I thought that was pretty cool, and you know, and it's like, all right, so I go back upstairs, shut all the lights and the cameras off in the basement, and I come back up here, fire up the Kemper just to see if I notice like, oh God, I don't like this thing anymore, you know, or whatever. And every time I fire it up and plug back into it, I'm like, oh, there it is. Oh, I've missed you. And then when I go into my Synergy rig, I feel even better about that because it's the real deal. And all the quirky things that tubes do, I get to enjoy, you know, messing around with. So, but as far as the, you know, the digital platforms go, the Kemper is freaking sick. It really is. Oh, FM3 Warren Court Music said, thank you. Yeah, the FM3 is what Axifex 3 is gonna, or the little Axifex deal is, and I heard good things about it. I need everything. Like I said, I'm Captain Overkill, so I need all the buttons and all the features because I don't ever want a product that I'm using say no to me. So I will always use something that's packed full of everything and then some. That's just the way I am. But it doesn't mean I'm right and everyone else is wrong. All it means is that's what works for me, you know. So let's see. No, a pedal that you only plays Kemper Profiles. Oh yeah, Veracek. That'd be interesting. You know, so you'd want a pedal that just has like amp profiles in it, and you just switch profiles, and it's just got, you know, just a good amp in it. Like an amp in a box, but a Kemper in a box. Oh, I see what you're saying. That'd be interesting. That would be really interesting if you could get like a Kemper, like a little bit bigger than the phone, maybe the size of two of these phones, and it's got like, I don't know, 50 profiles in it, and two buttons. You can go from clean to dirty or something like that, and it's got, you know, some effects at the top. You could dial in like 3 effects or something. That would be interesting. And you know what? Maybe one of these days they'll do that. Maybe they will. That would be really interesting. Yeah, Chicago Todd says I'd get on that bus. Yeah, I mean yeah, why not, right? Um, let's see here. Let me go back see if I missed anybody here. Okay, Darren West, can you let us know how it goes using reading the screen from the floor while you are standing up? The screen looks a little small to me. Yes, I will do that. I will, thank you. I will definitely make a note of that. That's a great suggestion because that was one of the biggest concerns in the community too. Because a lot of guys are like, oh, they came out with a new product and they didn't update the screen. You know, I wanted all these colored thingies on it and stuff. I could see why people want that. And respectfully, I'll say, I mean, I get why you would want that, but at the same time, um, I don't, like I said, I'm not a big editor guy. I'm a player. I want to just dial in a tone and play it and just enjoy playing it. I've been there. I've been the guy that tweaks and tweaks and downloads and clicks and drags and what about this IR? What about that cab? What about this mic? What about this distance of the mic? What about this? Blah blah blah. And that's why I made that video about the digital platform rabbit hole because I was that guy. And after a while, I was just like, man, this has got to end. I haven't played a solo. I haven't practiced anything in 3 weeks, and my skills are crap right now. If I had to do a show at that time, that'd have been horrible. I would have screwed the pooch that night on stage in front of everybody because my skills were going down. So I got better at operating the Kemper, or the Helix, or whatever it is that I was using, but not better at operating my instrument. So what I ended up doing was I just narrowed it down to I'm going to use some tire kicking riffs to find out what I like, and if it passes the test, I'm going to add the appropriate effects to make it work for me, and I'm going to practice. I'm going to perform. I'm going to write, and I'm going to record, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I decided to do. So as far as the layout, as far as the look of the screen, it is important so that you can get your workflow done. But there's a lot of guys that are that were complaining because they want more. They want it to be pretty and stuff. And I get that. These in this day and age, if you can't, I mean, I think some of these guys they almost want to watch the news on it while they're performing. It's like, geez, guys, what do you want? So I don't know. I mean, I'll see. But you're right. It has to be visible from the stage, from where you're standing, so that you can see what preset you're on. And all that, and it needs to be at least a good visible tool. I'll put it that way. I think it should be a good visible tool that's handy and helps you get your work done. It helps you know where you're at while you're performing. I agree, it needs to be that. Let's see, warm chord music. I love my Axe FX3. I'm not going to start crap about what sounds better, Kemper, Axe FX3, Helix, blah, blah, blah. I think they all have their strengths and offer a great value. No, you're right. They do. And you really have to go with with what works best for you. It seems like the Helix, as far as I've seen, a lot of guys that use it are like the classic rock / worship guys. It works really well for them. It's a good form factor for them. There's plenty of effects. It's ease of use and all that stuff. So it works really well. But as soon as you start getting into the metal territory, that's when the Helix, in my opinion, starts faltering a bit. It will do it. You can dial in a good metal tone with it that will feel good and sound good and record well, but only when you compare it to the Kemper or a real amp. That's when you're like, oh, I see what's missing now. You kind of like, all right, and you can't deny it. It's undeniable. It really is. And that's when, because once you find out what's missing and once you discover something better, you're screwed. You can't wash that out of your brain. Now, and it's like, what are you going to do about it? You going to settle for less, or are you going to switch? And when I took my Kemper to the studio for the first time, I have a really good engineer. Hi, Mick, if you're watching, you're awesome. And I was always recording before that with my Helix. And as soon as I brought the Kemper in, the first thing he said when we reamped some tracks was like, there it is. He goes, that's the texture I've been telling you about that's been missing on your tracks. He goes, I can hear it. I mean, he's like, and this guy is in the studio all day, and he's got really good ears, and he knows what's what. He's recorded every type of piece of gear out there. Amps, amp sims, plugins, all of it. He's had it all in there. And he told me as soon as he heard the Kemper, he's like, there's all that texture that I've been telling you that you need. And we reamped with that, and he was completely 100% satisfied with everything that he heard. So, when you got a guy in a studio that's as experienced as he is saying that to you, that says something. It really does, God, my eyes, jeez. James Haverfield, how you doing, man? As a fractal guy, I've been waiting for the FM3, but seriously considering the Kemper Stage. Never played a Kemper before. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for tuning in and checking this out, James. I really appreciate it. And the only thing I can say, and I'm not a company shill, I bought this, no one gave it to me. Chris Kemper doesn't even know who the hell I am, so the guy that sweeps the floors at the Kemper factory doesn't even know who I am. So I will say that, but all I can tell you is before you buy anything, before you buy your next piece of gear, do a shootout. Do a shootout with it, and have a friend of yours send you a profile or two that sound really good on a thumb drive, load it in a Kemper at a store, play it through a good cab, and shoot it out with an XFX or shoot it out with whatever. And I'm telling you, if you will be convinced on which one you'll need to buy. And I definitely don't want to steer you to either product. I just want to steer you to whatever works for you. But 4 years ago, if I would have went to a store and had a Helix and a Kemper sitting next to each other with the same cab, I guarantee you I would have walked out with a Kemper, because for the kind of music I play and for the type of taste that I have for playing, it just feels and sounds better to me. And that I'm not trying to, and I say that with all due respect to the Helix, because I've had one for almost 4 years now, and it's a great product. It really is. But if you had to just pick one, you have to make a decision, and there's reasons for that decision. So let's see, warm cord. Funny enough, I'm in a smaller rabbit hole with my XFX 3 than I was with with my Kemper. I have a Fryat patch I love and use for most writing sessions, and I will always try different profiles. Yeah, I hear you, because that's what I do. I stay away from downloading profiles every other day. That's where you get into trouble. It really is. It's kind of like you're on a dating app and you meet a girl and you start becoming an item. You gotta close out the dating app. Because if you keep going back in there and checking out other people and getting messages from them, I mean, that relationship's in big trouble, and you're probably going to end up with nobody, right? Because you gotta look at it this way: when you find a profile that you like and it really does work for you, just shut down the dating app. I mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Because you can end up in that rabbit hole forever and never become a better player, and you got 3,000 profiles and you don't know which one to pick, and you haven't worked on your sweep picking in 6 months, and you got a show tomorrow and you can't even sweep pick anymore. So I mean, that's really what it is. Let's see here. Brian Miller says, XFX definitely kills it on the high gain amps. No, I've heard great things about it. I really have, and I'm sure the XFX is a really good contender in that department. I really am. Ben says, I don't care about the pressure washing jobs later, just play the Kemper. Yeah, I got to pay for the Kemper though, so I got to go do that. I don't want to wash either, but I got to. Joseph L. Dean, Bembernette, then you can pay this man's bills once. You know what? I'll post my address. You can write the checks and send them over, and I'll stay home tonight and go live. I don't care. Oh, I appreciate it, guys, but I gotta go work soon. Shootouts definitely help. Warm Chord Music says, I feel like pickup manufacturers get this. I select 2 different Fishman Fluent sets based on their shootout files. Yeah, Dating app analogy. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm like the analogy king. I always got analogies for everything. Um, but yeah, but it works, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. When you get a Kemper, that's what everybody's doing. They're just like, try my profiles, no, try mine, and you get like 37 versions of an EVH EL34 amp, and you can't. They all sound similar, but there's differences. And this one's chunkier, and that one's this, and that one's fuller. This one's fatter. This one's brighter. That one's the mids are pushed, and oh, this one feels great. And next thing you know, all you're doing is this all day. Chug, 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 chug. Oh yeah, yeah, I like the chug, chug. And you're really good at chugging on your low B string or your E string, and that's pretty much all you're gonna get. Next thing you know, you're joining a gent band because that's all you know how to do anymore. And so I'll narrow it down to a couple of them. I'll play them for a few minutes each, and then I just make a definitive decision, and I do not deep dive. I don't deep dive in the Kemper. Some people are like, oh yeah, how hard is it to get through all that stuff? I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how hard or easy it is. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that deep into that thing. Because as soon as you go beneath the surface on that or any other platform, you're just asking for trouble, man. That stuff's there because there's people that want it, but it's not there. They didn't put it there and go, hey, we suggest that you do all these things. That's not what it's for. It's there if you need it. It's like the reserves, like if you want to do some fine tuning and stuff, because it's a marketing thing. If they didn't put it there, you know what everybody'd say? Well, that's all you could do is just turn a couple knobs and blah, blah, blah. So why would you buy that? So they're like, all right, fine. You want all that crap and you want to just turn into a Kemper rocket scientist as opposed to a rock star? Go ahead. Knock yourself out and turn knobs all day, Meanwhile, the other guys are out there shredding and playing and practicing and doing all that too. Nothing wrong with either thing. I just want to be a good player, a good musician, good performer, good writer, good recording artist. I don't want to be a rocket scientist. I don't want to learn how to, decode the Kemper or the Helix or the Fractal. I don't care. Because when you're on stage sucking ass because you can't play, it's not like the people are going to be going, yeah, but he can work that Kemper. I know he sounds like crap up there and he's dropping notes everywhere and sounds like crap, but man, he could dial in that Kemper better than anybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Let's see, Darren West, can you explain the difference in the profile types? I've heard you say before that there are different methods of profiling. Yes, okay, so there are direct profiles, which they profile just the amp. They run a line into the amp and a line out. And they profile the tubes, the circuitry, and everything that's from this end to this end. And then you hook it up to either a power amp and a real cab, or you hook it up to, you put in an impulse response and run it through an FRFR cab or front of house or whatever, and you get like the amp, So that's what I prefer. Or you can profile a amplifier by putting mics in front of it, like a lot of guys will take a mixing board and put several mics in front of a cab, and get all the sweet spots with all these different microphones on the cab, and then you profile that, okay, and it sends a signal through the amp, through the cab, picks up through the mic, and it profiles the mic, sound that you're getting out of the cab mixed with the amp itself. I don't like those as much. They're not bad, they're just not my taste because they tend to have too much high end for me. I'd rather have like a profile of a real amp, a profile of the amp direct, and plug it into my Synergy Syn 5050 into my real cabs. That's as close to reality as you're going to get with the Kemper, is a direct profile into a tube power amp into real cabs. That's as close as you're going to get. You're never going to get any closer. And so that's the way I like it. Now, conversely, what you don't want to do is take a mic'd profile of a Kemper, or a mic'd profile of an amp, and turn the cab sim off and run that through a power amp and cabs. It's going to sound weird because you're running a mic's profile through a power amp and cabs, and it's just weird. So always do direct profiles through real cabs or impulse response. It's just better. Let's see here. Okay, Aaron Green, can you, LOL, you said let's just turn knobs all day. That's what it is, right? I mean, you get the guys that just want to turn knobs, and you know, in the studio all day. And meanwhile, I'm shredding my ass off and trying to be better as a guitar player. You know, it's not a freaking video game, you know. And again, I say that with due respect, you know, but it's kind of like we've all been in the studio where the mix has to be better. Hey, change this, change that, change this, change that. Turn that up, turn that down, blah, blah, blah. Add more reverb on that. Next thing you know, the mix is never done, right? Mix is never done. That happened with one of Springsteen's albums. And they hated their mix so bad because it just got further and further and further away with every turn of a knob and every move of the slider. It got further away from good. They had to hire an outside producer. I can't remember what album, I think it was the album with Born to Run on it. They had to hire an outside mixing engineer, and he came in and just kicked everybody out of the studio. Get the hell out of here. Go on vacation. I'll call you when it's done, and I'm not interested in anything that you have to say. Get out of here. Locked the door, remixed the whole thing, and released it. And it was like one of their best sounding albums ever. Because why? He stopped all the tweaking. He stopped all the hair splitting and nitpicking. He just went in there and gave them a very natural mix without all the extra crap that they wanted, and took all the frosting and icing and sprinkles and all the crap off, and they were all like, wow, that sounds amazing. What did you do? I undid all the crap that you did. I took it down to bare bones, mixed it, threw a couple things on there, and sent it up the pipe. You know, that's what you do, and it's the same thing with your digital platforms. Stop tweaking, you know, and that's why I don't dive deeper than the other stuff. Every once in a while I'll go under there just in case to fix a little thing, but I get right back out. You know, I don't waste a lot of time down there. It's stupid, you know. Warm chord music. That's how I feel about Axe Effects. I select IRs. I love and tweak a few key parameters like I would a real amp. I have no interest in diving. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's really all you got to do. Honestly, the thing that you got to tell yourself is, I'm not going to make this better. I'm going to make it worse. And if you tell yourself that beforehand, you'll always be better off. It's like arguing with your wife, right? If I just shut your mouth, because anything you say, you're just going to make it worse. So just look at your Kemper and just picture your wife's angry face. And just be like, I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to shut up and just walk away because there's nothing I can do to fix this. I'm just going to make it worse. And you guys know damn good and well what I'm freaking talking about, don't you? So just do that, you know? And in fact, if you really want to get creative, you know, have your wife make an angry face, take a picture of it, print it, and slap it on the front of your Kemper. And just don't touch the knobs. And I think you'll be so much better off. Or put it on top, you know, a little angry picture of your wife, and you know, that should be a thing now. Like, everybody sees each other's Kempers and they know, oh, you did that too? Yeah, that works, doesn't it? Yeah, your Kemper sounds amazing because you don't touch it, do you? That's right, yeah. I'm not going to piss my Kemper off. Darren says, coffee, where's the whiskey? Well, whiskey will be for later when I get home from work, but I got to fuel up for tonight because I got to wash like 32 trucks. It's 85 degrees right now, and my coffee's cold, so I guess that's a good thing. But, yeah, so when I get home from washing trucks, I'm going to plug this in. I won't allow myself to plug this in until I get home because I want something to look forward to, you know. And again, let me show you guys. All right, so here it is. All right. Give you a close-up little pass by there. There's all the knobbies and all the. You could pause it later and look at what's there. And here's the I/O. 2 USB drives, one for loading presets, the other one for hooking up to your computer. There's 2 effects loops, spiff, whatever you, I don't know how to spiff. Left and right outs. You got your, 1/4 inch and your XLRs, and you got a bunch of there's your guitar input there on the end, and then you can hook up all your, expression pedals here. Looks like you get 1, 2, 3, 4. One, I don't know. Oh, that's your effects loop. Here's your pedals. Sorry, I couldn't read it. I'm reading everything backwards. But you can do four expression pedals. That's cool. And this does profile, and it does morph. That was the other thing. A lot of guys just, oh, it won't profile. Yes, it will. It will profile. You just do it with a PRS jack hooked to a mic cable, as opposed to the, the XLR. So it will profile, and it does do morphing too. So just for the people that didn't think it did that. So anyways, got 23 people here. I have to go in a minute, but if anybody's got any final questions or statements, I'll be happy to answer them and converse with you about that. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really do, very much. I'm going to scroll back, see if I missed anybody. I apologize if I did. Vericheck, oh, is it better than the Synergy? I'll always prefer my Synergy stuff. I will. And it's because you can't beat the real thing. I mean, especially with, and I'm going to do an episode about this, the Engel thing. I have an Engel, Savage module in there that, man, every time I play a solo on that thing, it's just so spooky. And I have yet to find a Kemper profile that will do that. I haven't found one yet. And I've got some really good Kemper profiles about the Savage, and they just don't do the spooky thing that the Engel does. They just won't do it. And that is so inspiring. Hey, Aaron. That I have to have it, Aaron, jealous. What's going on, man? I thought you were going to get yours before I got mine. I thought you were going to scoop me. And I scooped you. I done scooped you with my bobblehead. Jason Haverfield, what's your FRFR choice for Kemper when not using really cabs? Great question. I will tell you definitively that the Friedman ASC 10 or ASC 12 are my choice. The ASC 10 or 12, either one, they are absolutely amazing cabs. They sound so damn good. I have the 10 over there. I have a pair of 12s over there on the opposite side of my room there. And I'm actually going to do a shootout between them or using a power cab or a power amp and real cabs. And I haven't fired up my ASC 12 since I bought my Mesa cabs and power amps. So I want to see what they sound like now that my ears have gotten used to my Mesa cabs and power amp. And I'm going to do a shootout with that to show you like which one's better. Is a power amp really worth it? Does it really help your tone that much and all that? I'm going to do a shootout with that, an episode about that very soon with the Kemper and the Helix. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good FRFR cab to use with your Kemper or Helix or whatever it is that you play through, I've done shootouts with just about everything out there. Friedman, ASC 10 or 12, all day long. It's not even a contest. Not even close. It leaves everything in the dust that I've tried. Do not get a plastic cab. Whatever you do. God bless you guys. If you have to get one, I get it. We're all on budgets and stuff. But if you can afford it, you have the means, and you don't mind a little extra weight, get the ASC 12s or 10s. The AFC 12 or 10 is like 33 pounds, and it's like this big. And that thing is a beast, man. You play a Kemper through that, you're gonna feel it. You get too close to it, you'll get a foot massage if you're not wearing shoes. I mean, seriously, you'll feel the floor vibrating. That thing puts out a lot of sound and a lot of resonance. So And Dave Friedman's no joke. I mean, you guys all know who he is. The guy's an amazing amp builder. He's a freaking legend, you know. And yeah, he's very good at what he does. He doesn't build crap. Definitely get one of those, hands down, not even a question. And I know I sound like a sycophant. No one's paying me. It's just I've done shootouts with every cab out there just about, and the Friedman just lays waste to them all, you know. So I would highly recommend that. Aaron Green, let's see, wait, let me catch up here. Aaron Short, how is it? I don't know yet. I got to plug it in tonight and mess with it, but I'm sure it's amazing. But I will. I'll call you too later. Rub it in. Aaron Green, what about the Mission Gemini? I played the Mission Gemini. I did a review of it and I liked it. There was a howling kind of frequency in it that, for my taste, it just kind of it wasn't gelling with me. For other people, I've heard a lot of people say it was great, but there was something in that speaker, the frequencies, that were a little harsh to me, and I just couldn't get past it, and I ended up sending it back. And I hate sending things back. And I love Paul. I love Mission. They make great stuff. I love their pedals. I love all they're a high quality company, but the Mission just wasn't for me for metal. For cleans, for like the classic rock type stuff and jazz, that thing's amazing. But if you want to play metal, Friedman really is, you know. And I say that with all due respect to Mission, because again, I love that company. I got several other pedals and they're amazing. Let's see, Aaron Short says mine comes on Tuesday, working on lots of other videos though. Good. You're going to love it, man. Oh, you're uploading about the OCD? I want to check that out. I definitely want to check that out, because those are cool pedals. Aaron Green, okay, I got you. Oh, Brett, what's up, Brett? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Just got notification now, but at least I got it. I brought the Friedman ASC 12 on Jared's recommendations and love it. It's a beast. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you stopping by and saying that. And yeah, it is. That cab is sick. It's so good. It's just, every time I go to somebody's house, I bring the ASC 10 because it's easier to carry. And I set that thing down, and I'll hook the Kemper up to it, and I'll have a guy in the room with a stack across from me, and this thing keeps up with that no problem. And at first they smirk at me like, "That's all you brought?" I'm like, "That's all I need. Trust me." It's like the noisy cricket gun on Men in Black. You know, like, yeah, pull that trigger and see what happens, buddy. You know, that's a killer cab. It really is. Jason Haverfield, I love my Friedman ASM 12. Oh, good. Yeah, I forgot about the ASMs. No, you're right. The ASM's good too. I just use the C's, the cabs. But yeah, they're just killer cabs. You can't go wrong with them. They're awesome, you know. And I cringe, and again, I say this with respect, but I cringe when I see people spend $1,700 like this. You spend $1,700 on this, and then you hook it up to a $299 speaker from Headrush, and you're like, yeah, why doesn't this sound good? Like, yeah, because your cab is 70% of your tone. You know, 30% of it comes from here. Let me set this back up. But 30% of your tone comes from here. 70% of it comes from your cab. If you have a shit cab, yeah, shit tone. If you got a killer cab and an okay tone out of here, that cab's going to take that okay tone and make it sound better. It's just the way it is, you know. Your cab is kind of like the chef at the pass, you know, for that, you guys that know about the kitchen thing, you know. I mean, that's what's letting everything go or sending it back, you know. I mean, that cab decides on how good your tone really is. And I've done reviews where I had an amp hooked up and it just sounded like crap. And I'm like, why does this sound so horrible? I heard great things about this amp and it just sounds horrible. And then I switched it to a different cab and I'm like, oh, there it is. It even feels better. It feels better. It sounds better. All the aggression's there that needs to be there. It's all about the cab. You know, when I bought my Mesa rig like 10 years ago, I had a Mesa dual Roadster, and I bought a B52 cab to hook up to it because I'm like, you know, because the Roadster had a 2x12, it was a combo amp, so I was like, I just need this for extra sound, and I bought a B52 cab and hooked it up to it. I sent it right back. I was like, oh my god, that was my first lesson in cabs like 10 years ago when I learned that you don't buy a cheap cab, because within like 20 minutes, I'm like, this thing sounds like puke. It was disgusting. So I actually sent it back. I returned it at the store and exchanged it for a Mesa 4x12, and it was like, there it is. There's all the goodness. So it really is about cabs. So whatever you do, if you buy a digital platform, get a good cab like the Friedman ASC or ASM series, and it'll make that thing sound way better. It really will. Warm Chord Music says, I want to get the ASC 12 for my Axe Effects. Dude, I'm telling you, if you do get that, you're going to be super happy with it. You really are. You really freaking are. That's definitely the way to go, you know. My battery on my phone is about to die. Bear with me 1 second. I got to grab my battery charger, or else I can't read your comments, okay? So bear with me 1 second. Let me set this here for you. Take a look at that. I'm sorry. Bear with me. Gotta grab my charger. I'm coming. All right, sorry about that. Let me unplug this, plug that in. I was at 1%, so I think I just saved it. Whew, that was close. All right, let's see. Brett, the Friedmans will definitely blow your hair back, man. They will. I have the Synergy stuff and run multiple rigs, but love the Friedman ASC 12 so much I ordered another for stereo rig. Oh, dude. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. I got two of them as well in here, and I got them about probably like 12 feet apart from each other. And man, the stereo effect that you get from them, I always say the only thing better than a Friedman ASC 12 is another one. You know, I mean, and you get a stereo pair with the effects, like, you know, with like the stereo delay and stereo chorus and flanger, you really do notice a difference. Stereo's huge, you know. Let's see here. That would look good on my pedal board. Couch looks like it has some sweet brown tone. Yeah, this is the brown sound couch, man. Look at that. It's actually a huge couch. It takes up my whole damn living room. You know, when I got it delivered, they were like, "You sure you want this?" I'm like, "Well, I bought it." And then it kind of matches my guitar, right? So, anyways, if anybody's got anything else, let me know. And I'm going to get off here in a minute. I'm going to go sweat my brains out and wash trucks and try to pay for this. But again, give you another view. You know, really cool piece of gear. That's the underside. Not that it really matters, but I figured I'd show it to you. And then here's the front again. I know to some of you guys it might look a little intimidating if you're used to other platforms, but I think it looks pretty cool. I'm familiar with the Kemper, you know. It's got the two-tiered layout, so you got the foot switches up here are a little elevated so you don't step on things wrong. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with it. There is a bit of a learning curve on it because some of these buttons, sometimes you got to hold them or touch them twice for things. I think I watched some stuff on Tone Junkie's channel about it, but you know, I'll get through the learning curve for you guys and do my best to show you guys like everything that I can, anyways. And the thing is I'm not sponsored by Kemper. I'm not sponsored by Line 6. I'm not sponsored by really anybody like that. So when I tell you things, it's not because somebody lined my pockets. It's literally because that's what I've experienced, and that's my honest opinion about it. You know, so I'm not worried about making somebody mad or offending somebody by saying I like this better than that or vice versa, because no one's in my pocket. You know, I do this channel because I have a true love for gear and good tone and helping people pick what's best for them. Not what I think is best for me, but what's best for them. You know, and I just want to basically inform you with what is true about each thing, so that you can make the best decision that you can and make an educated decision on what to buy. If somebody came to me and said, "Well, I want to get a head rush speaker. Is that a good idea?" I'd say, "No, it's not." You know, if you got the means, buy a Friedman. If you don't, then see if there's some other options out there. Like, if you're just practicing at home, you're better off buying a really good pair of studio speakers that are, the same price as a head rush speaker. $299, you can get a good pair of studio speakers that don't sound muffled and blanketed, and at least you get stereo separation. You can put them on opposite sides of the room and get that really nice stereo separation, and you're not going to tweak things so that it sounds good. In a situation where now this battery's dying. Jeez. In a situation where it's just going to work in the head rush speakers, and because they're lying to you. You'd be better off if you're on a budget to get a pair of good studio monitors as opposed to a head rush speaker for the same price. If money's not as big of an object, then get a really good Friedman cab, and you're good. Let me see what we got here. Aaron Green, record video when you set it up and play it after work. Okay? I'll see what I can do. I mean, usually when I get home from work, I'm pretty freaking beat. But I'll see what I can do for you. I appreciate the suggestion. I really do, and I will try to accommodate you guys best I can, because that's what my channel's all about. I'm here for you guys. So I will do everything I can to accommodate you guys. Minimally, I can record it, and then put it up later. And show like the whole setup thing, and it'll be kind of raw, but why not, right? Maybe you guys can see like a raw. Let me know if you want me to do that, everybody. Like just a raw, like come home, set up the stuff, and go through maybe the little bit of a painstakingly handshake thing with the unit and learning how to do it, and you can see me fumble around. I just hope it's not too cringy for you. That was my concern. It's like you guys watching me trip over myself, and but then again, it's kind of real, right? It's like, well, thanks for being real, dude, and showing us like what it's really like to shake hands with this thing for the first time. So maybe I can set up cameras and do that. If you guys want me to, I'll do that for you, so you get a real view of it. Because you know how the internet trolls are. Oh, you're stupid. You can't even. Like, dude, there's a learning curve. You know what I mean? And I'll take the heat for you guys, so you guys can see what I went through. Let's see here. Chicago, hey dude, great work. Very nice listening to this live cast. Looking forward to actually hearing it tomorrow. Rock on. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the kind words. I really appreciate you watching. I really do. It means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. Aaron Green, raw. All right, dude. You got it. I'll shoot it, and it's going to be interesting. But I'll do my best to make sure that it's good context for you, good content. So I'll do that for you. I definitely save up the cash for the Friedman. It's worth it. Yeah, you're right. It really is. Get the cheap studio monitors for now, and then save up the cash for a Friedman later, and you'll thank yourself 1,000 times. I have never had anybody come over my house or brought my Friedmans to a jam session and had anybody say those things don't sound good. Everyone's always like floored at how good they sound. They sound absolutely amazing, you know. So, Rog or not? Any thoughts on the Atomic CLR wedge in comparison to the Friedman or Gemini? Congrats on the new piece of kit. Can't wait for the demo. You rule. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. As far as my thoughts go on the, clear this out here, on the CLR, I want to get my hands on one. There's one for sale locally. Here I am switching power cords here to keep these both running. There's one on sale for sale locally, but the guy wants way too much money for it, and he won't. I even offered him $75 if I can borrow it for a review, and he's like, no. And he's selling it through a local store, Motor City Guitar. It's not their fault. It's the guy. He's just selling it on consignment there, and I contacted the guy and I was like, hey, I'll give you $75 if I could take it home for 3 hours and bring it right back spotless. And he's like, no. I'm like, all right. He goes, well, I'm selling it for $1,200. I'm not gonna give you $1,200 for that. There's just no way. They're all over the place on the internet for way less than that. So he's like, well, this one's spotless. I'm like, well, I don't care. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you that. So I want to get my hands on one and do a review, but I just can't do it, you know. Chicago Todd, I wonder what the market looks like for a highly used Helix LT. I'm telling you what, you guys, if you're going to sell your gear right to get this, do it now. Because there is a fire sale going on everywhere, on toasters, on racks, on different other pieces of gear. I'm telling you, you better get ahead of the curve on this, because within 3 weeks, the prices of everything is going to go down, probably 20 to 30, maybe even 40% used, because everybody wants one of these right now. And I'm telling you, there's a fire sale coming. So if you're going to sell your stuff, do it now, before this thing starts getting traction. This thing, I'm pointing at my other one. Before this thing right here starts gaining traction and the market shifts, you're going to be in trouble selling your stuff. You're either not going to be able to sell it, or you're going to have to take a pretty big hit on it, because this thing right here has completely changed the market, you know, for the better, because it's a great piece of gear, but in a way a little bit for the worse, because it's making other things worth less than they would have been. And it's a normal shift. It's what happens all the time, you know. It'll balance out, but if you want to buy this now and sell your gear now, do it now. I can tell you, because the market, you're going to watch it go down for a while. Aaron Green, so glad I found your channel. I appreciate your honesty and enthusiasm. All the best to you and your... Dude, thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with everybody here, including myself, and for your suggestions. And I promise you, I will do what you asked. I will do a really raw, just kind of like a stumble through the whole hooking up process. I got to figure out a camera angle that's going to work, though, you know, as far as like where you can see me and the piece of gear. I might have to use a couple different cameras, but I will do my best to make it informative for you guys, and at least hopefully not too cringy, but we'll see, you know. So I'm glad you found the channel too, and I'm glad I found you. Thank you very much. Again, I appreciate it. Kurtz, how much did you pay for it? I checked Kemper site price, now available there from Canada. Okay, so it's $1,700 American. So whatever that translates to in Canadian, I don't know, but it's $1,700 here, and that's pretty much MAP pricing everywhere, I think, as far as America goes, at all the different stores. So, like I said, and it's a great value, because my Helix was $1,600, and I thought that was a great value, and it still is. But you get Kemper tone, you know, for $100 more. And I'm telling you, as far as digital platforms go, you can't beat Kemper tone. It is phenomenal. The Helix is also very good. But for metal, I love the Kemper, and the effects are amazing. And if you guys want, look on my channel. There's a series I did. Head Rush versus Helix versus Kemper. I did a shootout with all 3 units versus with the interface, with the effects, and with the sound and feel. And watch all 3 of those, and then you can get an idea of what is different between them. And I do a lot of sound examples. I do video examples, everything, and you can really dive deep into those and check out everything. And I try to be as honest as I can with it all too. And the proof's right there. It's in the video. It's in the tones. It's all right there. I even put them in a mix if I remember correctly. So check out that series. I just did them not too long ago. So just scroll down a little bit and you'll see. I think it's Head Rush versus Helix versus Kemper. There's 3 of them. So watch those, and that'll help you maybe have a better understanding of what we're talking about here. Okay, well, seriously, guys, it means the world to me that you guys stop by and watch this. It really does. And honestly, I could hang out with you guys all day. I really could, and I would love to. But I have to get ready to go to work now and sweat. It's like 85 degrees here, so it's going to be pretty crazy. But when I get home tonight, I will set up some cameras and shoot some stuff and get you, like, I won't even warm up. I won't even, like, try to prefigure anything out and reenact things. I will literally shoot a camera of me just plugging everything in for the first time and figuring it out. And I really look forward to doing that for you guys. Hopefully that video will be up within a week. And I'm going live tomorrow night with another discussion with you guys where we can have another back and forth like this. But tomorrow night I'll actually be playing. I'll actually be playing my guitar. You'll hear what it sounds like. I'll do some stuff for you. We'll figure some stuff out together. I'll trip and fall in front of everybody. You guys can make fun of me, whatever. It'll be fun. And if I'm able and if I have the time, I'll even see if I can get some backing tracks going so we can put it in a mix and see what that sounds like. Because if you're familiar with the Kemper, you already know it sounds good. This is going to sound just like it. There's no difference in how it sounds. It's just for the guys that are new that want to switch over from another platform into this, or even real amps into this, because this form factor looks sexy to them and they want to hear how it sounds. That's why I'm doing it. For the guys that want to just go, well, what does that thing sound like? I might consider buying one. So I'll do that for you guys. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I got a lot of videos coming up, a lot of shootouts, a lot of different tutorials and things, and I look forward to giving you guys the best content that I can. Now I got to figure out how to turn this damn thing off, because I've never gone live on an iPad before on my channel, so I got to figure that out. All right, well, while I do that, you guys all take care and have a great night. Brett says, thanks for taking the time to share this and all the hard work and real reviews. Thank you for trusting me and watching. I mean, I'm honored to have you guys watch my videos. I'm honored to have you guys come in here and spend time with me. And it's your time, you know, and I want to value your time. I want your time to be spent here and you to walk away feeling like it was worth your time to stop by and spend time with me. So I want to have complete respect for your time and give you the best that I can, you know. So I appreciate that you gave your time for me, honestly. I really do, all of you. So again, thank you very much. And I will see you guys soon. Tomorrow night, we're going to go live probably around 8 o'clock. It's Michigan times. It's daylight savings here, so Eastern Daylight Savings Time, I think is what it's called. Love and appreciate your work, bro. Thug or not. Thank you, man. I love and appreciate all you guys, too. Seriously, I really value everybody here. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to see if I can close out of here. Now you get to see me do a raw, you know, learn how to close out on an iPad. All right, take it easy, guys.